I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalley Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit. Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus3 TCG, and I'm coming at y'all with another deck profile today. We're going to be looking at Supreme King DDDs. This is a pretty fun version of this deck. I really enjoy it, and the fact that you can make Electrumite to extend a lot of your plays is amazing in the deck. So without further ado, we're just going to hop right into the profile, and I'm going to explain some of the ratios. A lot of good starter cards in the deck, but for the most part, they're all the same starter cards that DDDs have had before, except for a few new ones. So we've, of course, got 3 Kepler. This now has other utility, because before, where DDDs weren't really a pendulum deck, now we're really trying to utilize these pendulum scales, and that 10 scale is very relevant. Copernicus, this one, like, its effect doesn't come up as much as it used to. It still does, and it's still great to start with this because it's a pendulum monster that can get you into Electrumite, but for the most part, you're just using it as the pendulum, honestly, the pendulum monster, so that you can go into Electrumite. But the effect is still really good, and it's another starter card. This is probably now one of the most important cards in the deck, whereas before it was not as important, because this is going to be on field for Electrumite to either pop or for you to add back from your extra deck, because you will need this to add back more than likely Kepler, so that you have the scales to summon another one of these and potentially a Ragnarock, at least another one of these, so that you can pop your scale and then summon a Ragnarock so you can go into rank A plays. Speaking of, we're playing 3 of those as well, because its grave effect is still amazing, and the fact that it is an 8-star is very relevant. 3 DD Swirl Slime, still one of the most important cards to see in your starting hand, because this is what gets the plays going. If you don't have this, if you have all the other stuff to make, like Electrumite and whatnot, it doesn't get you anywhere. If you don't have this, because you can't fuse, you can't really do much with the deck. And that's why we're only playing 1 of these, because this is much less relevant, because outside of turn like 2, the deck really starts to slow down, because you use a lot of resources for as the DDDs usually do. You use a lot of resources in those first usually the first turn or the first 1 to 2 turns, so that you can make unbreakable boards. Ideally, you're making the unbreakable board turn 1, which includes YUGIOH, and it's nutty. But we're only playing 2 Lamias this time, where we usually be playing 3 Lamia, because, like I said, the games usually don't go that long. You're not going into the 3rd Lamia ever. You're never going into the 3rd Lamia, let alone the 2nd one. The 2nd one almost never happens, but the reason we're playing this is because Allure of Darkness, and even if you wanted to replace Allure with Pot of Desires, you would still ideally want to be playing 2 of these, so that you don't have to banish 1 and then not have another 2 follow up with. That is the DD lineup. Now we're getting into the non-DDD engine, I guess the Sorcerer Supreme King engine. This is one of the best cards in the deck, because it's just so utilizable in so many pendulum decks. You can just make Electrumite with Electrumite, and this card are just amazing. You can add back your Thomas, you can add back your Kepler, add back anything in your extra deck, and then special it so that you can eventually go into your absolute and then go into Vortex. Playing 2 Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. This card is also very important to see in the grave. It is technically a starter card, as is Aster with this pendulum effect, because you can summon your your Stargazer, which is relevant, but these aren't like true starter cards, because they don't get you they don't net you as much advantage as a true starter card would. This may get you something in this deck, it gets you the gate 0, but outside of that doesn't do much. And Aster gets you your Stargazer, but if you're just using Aster for just Stargazer, unless you have another pendulum, that doesn't get you too much, but I guess they are starter cards, and they're amazing in this deck. These cards, however, suck, and you never want to see these in your opening hand ever. You always want to search these. You only want to search these, or you only want to summon Stargazer Magician from deck, and you only want to search Gate 0 from deck. So, I mean, you have to run your Garnets but it is what it is. They're engine requirements. And for the last monsters, we're playing 3 Ash. Just the most versatile hand trap in the format. 3 Gate. Gate is another great starter card. Gets you all of your DDD stuff that you need. Only 1 Swamp King. This one is less relevant because you don't always have the space to utilize this card, but it's a great one to have, so you can search it out. Other starter cards here, Dragon Shrine and Foolish Burial. Obviously, the Dragon Shrines are for the Dark Room, and the Foolish Burial is just for the rest of your deck, which is ideal. And 1 for 1, we got 5 targets in the deck, so might as well play the 1 for 1. I guess we have other targets in the slime, but you don't want to summon slime. If you're summoning slime with this, it's probably a really bad situation you're in. You're probably not going to win that one, but 1 for 1, amazing card. It's at 1 for a reason. Allure of Darkness, I recently cut this to 2. Even though our entire deck is darks and we run multiple copies of darks, I'd rather play starter cards over the third allure. I traded the third allure for the gate, the third gate. I just wanted to see more starter cards in my hand versus an extender. And then the ultimate extender is Soul Charge and Monster Reborn. Drawing these off Saryuja is literally the best feeling in the world, because if you can make Saryuja and then draw 1 or 2 or both of these, or if you already open one and you draw the other one, geez, it is the best feeling. You should be opening like your board should be absolutely god by the end of that. It should end in like Saryuja, Hope Harbinger, Crystal Wing, and another negate. That's the 40 card monster, or the 40 card deck. On to the extra deck monsters. Playing 1 Heavy Metal Foes Electrumite, one of the best cards in the format right now. Such a versatile card, allows you to get a lot of cards get a lot of cards for not much. You can get this card out with 0 normal summons, and that was really the allure of putting this card into DDDs. Deco Talker for the generic. Now, I could play, what's that card called? Metaltron. I could play Zephyr Metaltron, but this is much more generic, and I feel like when you're going for consistency, you need to go for the generic plays, and this is more of a generic play than Metaltron. I can't always make Metaltron, but in the situations where I can make Metaltron, it's great. But the situations where I can't make Metaltron, having a generic rank 3 with diagonal arrows is a little more consistent and a little more important. I think consistency is just the most important thing to be thinking about when you're building decks, not to have like a higher ceiling. To have a higher ceiling is obviously important, but if you don't have the consistency to back it up, I don't think it's as important. And Saryuja. This card isn't happening as much as I would like. There is a version where you're playing like chronographs and you're playing more like, I guess like engine requirement cards that like essentially get you into Saryuja more often. It's just you're not always able to make it. It's more of a glass cannon, or you're not always like to make anything after Saryuja. Sometimes all you can do is just make Saryuja in like a dark or something, and that's just straight ass. You don't want to be doing that. But there are times where Saryuja comes up and it is amazing. It comes up enough to where you should be putting it in the extra deck. I don't put the Archfiend because I just feel like while it is not like it's more generic than Metaltron, but it doesn't do enough to warrant a spot in the extra deck, I don't think. 1 Genghis, because after turn 1 or 2, you're really not making any more DD plays, you're just trying to maintain advantage. 1 Dark, because this actually comes up more than Genghis does, because you're trying to eggs these with Astrograph. This almost never comes up for the rank 8 play, but I feel like I don't feel safe not playing this. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I should be playing a DDD deck that makes rank 8s like crazy without a way to fuse into a level 8 so I can make those rank 8 plays a lot easier. Then we're playing 1 Odd-Eyes Vortex Dragon. No need to explain, this card is absolutely amazing. You just eggs these, or you just link summon with Odd-Eyes Absolute Dragon, and you summon Vortex. It's a wrap from there. This card doesn't come up very often, but it does come up sometimes. Starving Venom, you're usually trying to make this so you can copy Electrumite's effect, or you can, I guess, copy something else in your Grave's effect. Everything is like once per turn, so it's not that effective to use the things in Grave. On to the Synchros, Alexander. It happens, but not as often as I would like it to. The deck just isn't what it used to be. Siegfried, this actually rarely comes up. I would rather summon a Crystal Wing over this, because usually you can make Hope Harbinger a lot easier than you can make this, because you don't ever want to search for Lamias nowadays. You kind of just want to draw them with YUGIOH. I mean, if you do open them, you can open like Crystal Wing, but right there, you'd rather make Crystal Wing over this. This is a necessary evil, because you can, 1, you can summon a Pendulum Monster, and 2, you can summon this in like an extremely nutty hand, and then Exes summon Absolute with this to go into Vortex, to go through all of your Hot Eyes extra deck. And then Crystal Wing, no need to explain, pretty self-explanatory. Love this card in this deck. The Exes, we're playing 1 Kali Yuga. This comes up a lot when you're going second, you need to go for game. This comes up a lot when you're going first and you need to negate for game. And then this is just an engine requirement. You need to play this so you can make your Vortex, because you don't play any other ways to make it. That is the extra deck, and that is the deck. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck, because if y'all don't know, DDDs is another one of my favorite decks that I always play with. I'm always testing with it, but it's a very frustrating deck because it takes a lot of thinking, and trying to make these unbreakable boards takes a lot of thinking. A lot of thought goes into these combos, and if you mess up even a little bit, place a card in the wrong zone, you might mess up your entire combo. So it's a very high skill, high risk, high reward deck, and I'm having a lot of fun with it again. Let me know what you think of the ratios down in the comment section below. Let me know if you like the deck. Let me know if you think you should make any changes. But with that in mind, this is Alex from +3 TCG. Signing out, y'all.